Hi there, my name is Jake Riley, and I am here with my good friend.
Hi, I'm Luke McPherson, and I'll be playtesting.
Yep, and here we have the game that I've been developing for the past semester called Who'd Hire a Late Mercenary. Now, the story behind this game is very simple. You are a mercenary who is waking up late for his job interview. As you can see by the screen here, there's a little bit of story text at the very bottom. What Luke just did there is open up the inventory for the first time. It has a little bit of an introduction as to what the inventory screen is and how you access it. And you can still, just without the reticle even telling you what objects are what, you can still open up objects. And you're supposed to pick up the helmet first, but now you can see there's a reticle there from the helmet, and you can see the display text being put above it that tells you just what every item is. And inside of the inventory, each of the items have a description of what it is. And since this is a very tongue-in-cheek game, I decided to write it as a very tongue-in-cheek sort of feel to each of the items, including the keys. The keys themselves have like a very specific backstory as to why they are keys to specific areas in the room. For example, the one that he just clicked on there is one from a bad experience from a previous mission where he tries to make sure now that his ship is as far off the ground from whatever planet he's staying on as possible. And so he could open up that chest, and there's just a little art decoration in the corner. You can open up the door with the key. And this is the main living space of the ship. There's some glassware all around. There's a lot of disorganization because this person is very disorganized as a result. And that is the pet on board the ship named Jim. Jim is just a little thing that I included because I thought it would be a little fun and add a bit more character to the space if the player character had a pet that they were trying to take care of. The keys are also just all over the place. The doors themselves, if you click on them, they are locked and they play a audio that tells you that they're locked. And let's see here, inside of the sink is just a thing. Inside of the fridge, you have a gun and a key. Now, there's a reason why the gun is in the fridge, and that's because you never know when you're going to need a gun inside of your fridge or who's going to be boarding your ship and when. And each of the weapons have a in-universe description as to what they are, almost like an advertisement, and a personal story with exactly just what the gun itself is and what it means to the player character. And this inventory screen I had originally, one of the issues that I had with it was a very small scripting error where it was get button down instead of just get the button, or it was get button instead of get button down. The armor is in the shower room because he doesn't really have anywhere else that he can clean it. And one of the things that the player character remarks on is that he's lucky that he got the blood from the previous encounter out of the armor. One of the hazards of wearing white armor. Again, an example of what the tongue-in-cheek nature of the game is. And Luke has a habit of going to pet Jim. He's playtested this game before. And then the reactor. I placed that key there based on some feedback from another playtester saying that the key on the ground instead of the very blue environment is very difficult to find. And so this is just the reactor finally being turned on. And now that Luke has collected all of the items that he needs, he can now get inside of the cockpit and head to the interview. This is the special feature where you fly the ship around in the atmosphere and try to avoid the asteroids. Now, I have locked in the player coordinates and the asteroids to move and spawn within a certain area because it makes it a lot more challenging. You have to move the ship around space a lot better, and you need to focus a bit more than if you hadn't otherwise done so. And so Luke is just trying to stay alive until the warp time. Oh, it looks like he took too much damage. And that was just another example of the tongue-in-cheekness that I wanted to make sure was very present in the game, and that being that the game over text was you were late to the interview, but also you died. And so he's still trying to just get through here. I may have to go back and review the spawn zones for the asteroids so that there's more space for the player to move around, because the ship is kind of big, or at least its collider is. So he's just managing to get through. And then warp speed, and here we are, arriving at the end and at the interview. Okay. So, Luke, do you have